Guys, Ne Zha 2 is finally released internationally this week, and we already know that Ne Zha 2 is making box office history in China. It's currently at $1.5 billion at the Chinese box office, being the second fastest movie to reach $1.5 billion, tied with Avengers Infinity War. It is estimated to bring in around $10 million at the American box office this weekend. It already brought in $3.15 million opening day in North America. The total gross of the movie is estimated to be around $2 to $2.2 billion, which would put it in the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time. The movie is on pace to beat Inside Out 2 to be the highest grossing animated film of all time. There's a lot of hype surrounding this movie, and now that it is released internationally, what are some of the reviews from the international markets? Do people like the movie outside of the Chinese market? Should you watch Ne Zha 2 in the theaters? Let's take a look at the audience and critic reviews from reviewers outside of China for Ne Zha 2. Critic Fred Topple from Deadline writes, "The animation, which involves human, animal, and dragon forms, does not quite achieve Pixar-level elegance, but it more than holds its own. The rendering of martial arts battles is as graceful as DreamWorks' animation's Kung Fu Panda series. The film gets a little too busy with all the additional plotting outside of Ne Zha's quest trials. Though always visually engaging, resolving all of the plot takes more than 2 hours and can feel exhausting." Critic Simon from RogerEbert.com writes, "Ne Zha 2 is a rare sequel that amplifies both its action and drama without sacrificing much of what already worked in the last movie. It's also a rare blockbuster that offers something worthwhile for a wide-ranging audience. The potty humor is consistently outlandish, if not always laugh-out-loud funny, and while some subplots aren't as consistently well-developed as you might wish them to be, the action scenes remain a great showcase." Simon gives the movie 3 out of 4 stars. Currently, there aren't too many critic reviews for Ne Zha 2 outside of China, but they both seem to agree that the animation is great and action scenes are marvelous. What about the audience members that watched Ne Zha 2 outside of China? So far, it has an 8.3 rating on IMDb and a 99% audience approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's take a look at what they have to say. Audience member Any Dream writes, "The story is impressive, tightly paced, with a perfect balance of humor and heart, and high-stakes action. There were moments that had the entire theater laughing out loud, and others that genuinely tugged at their heartstrings. It's a fantastic family film, but it doesn't shy away from deeper themes like identity, destiny, and family bonds. The characters are a highlight too. The Dragon Dad is such a handsome, warm-hearted figure, while the Dragon Aunt is this fierce, charismatic powerhouse. They add so much depth and charm to the story. While the English subtitles aren't perfect, they feel a little rushed in places, they're more than enough to follow the plot and emotional beats." Ricky writes, "Probably the best animated movie I've seen in ages, with the exception of The Wild Robot. Engaging from beginning to end. The visuals will keep your eyes fixed on the screen. Although Ne Zha is supposed to be evil, he will keep you chuckling. A first-class feature that must ring a lot of alarms for Disney and any other major studio in regards of quality. If you can, watch the first Ne Zha movie too, to understand the story better." Julian writes, "Probably the best animated film I've seen in the last 5 years or so. I rewatched the first one a couple of days ago, and I was pleasantly surprised how much I had liked it. I was glad I chose this movie to go see today. I wish it hadn't come out on the same day as an MCU movie, and I hope that people give it a chance. It has such a good story, and the pacing is so well done. It's one of those rare sequels that is actually better than the original." Mick writes, "Super fun, lots of action, excellent story, great animation. I watched with subtitles on IMAX, fantastic. If it was dubbed, it would be a smash hit, even in the US. We expected to be the only people in the theater, as it was midweek showing before 3 p.m. on a day where the roads were covered with snow. Boy, were we wrong. This is one of those animated movies that deserves to be seen in the theater. So if you have a chance, do see it in the theater." So Fly in the Sky writes, "I liked it. It was visually stunning, funny, and lots of action. For me, some of the translation was off, but you can still follow the story just fine." Looks like most audience reviews have given the movie a high score, praising it for its impressive storytelling, with a perfect balance of humor, heart, and action that keeps audiences engaged from start to finish. The animation is visually stunning, and the pacing is well executed, making it a standout animated feature. Some reviewers mentioned that the subtitles are a bit fast, but still fine to watch and understand the story. Reviewers have mentioned that you don't need to watch the first one to understand the second one, because there is a brief intro of the background in the beginning. But if you do want to watch Ne Zha 2, it is currently free to watch on YouTube. I put a link to it in the description of this video. I plan to watch it this weekend and take part of box office history. Are you guys going to watch it? Let me know in the comments.
残念ですね。